Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. My wife of 5 years just left me. I found out after she's been cheating online. Doctor, my wife left because of an online affair. She falsely accused me of abuse. I am traumatized. I don't know what to do about our marriage. I met my wife when we were both 19, and we married young, at 20. We became parents together at 23, when our daughter was born in the summer of 2020. I thought we were happy together. I thought I was blessed to have her, and that whilst I had my faults, I was a good husband. I've been mostly a stay-at-home dad for the last year and a half, since our daughter was born. My wife would work during the day, leaving at 8 and coming home at 5, and I'd work an average of 2 4-hour shifts a week, at night. She was by far the main income earner, but our setup worked for us since it meant our daughter didn't need to be put in daycare and we could get by financially. The first big strain on our marriage came in December 2020. I found out my wife had been financially unfaithful, that is to say that she had managed to accumulate about $6,000 of debt on her 2 credit cards that she had from before we were married. She told me that the debt had come from buying lunch every day whilst she was pregnant, which I believed at the time but have some skepticism toward now, just due to the current situation. The credit debt really hurt me because my wife had hidden it for about a year from me at that point, and it had been accumulating that whole time due to interest. I felt very betrayed, but over the weeks I began to rebuild my trust, and it didn't take long before I no longer felt much resentment about it, except when it came around to paying it off. My wife missed on multiple occasions the deadline for the minimum monthly payments, which meant that the debt kept growing. Eventually, in late September 2021, my grandparents offered to pay off my wife's credit cards to make our lives easier, using money that was meant to be left to me when they'd pass one day. Unbeknownst to me or my grandparents, my wife was already being unfaithful at that time, but she didn't say anything to stop us using that money to pay off her credit debt. My wife left at the end of January this year. I had been taking care of my daughter that day as usual, and I had a shift that evening, so I left for work at 5 p.m. when my wife came home. She gave me a kiss goodbye, and we exchanged some messages whilst I was at work, about what we'd have for dinner and what we'd do that evening. I left work at 9 p.m. and sent her a message saying I was on my way, to which she responded with a love heart. When I got home 5 minutes later, I found our apartment empty, my wife, our daughter and our dog all gone. I was immediately in a state of panic, thinking they must have been kidnapped or something bad must have happened. I tried calling her, but it went straight to voicemail. Then I tried calling the police, who sent some officers over. Whilst I was waiting for them, I looked around and found a letter she had left. In the letter, she claimed I was controlling, manipulative, lazy, a bad father, and that I had wasted 4 years of her life. She said she was taking our daughter and that I'd never see them again, and that I should go back to my home country, the UK. I felt devastated. I found out from the police that she was in a women's shelter. None of it made sense. I'd never been abusive. I tried for the next few days to make sense of it. I took to self-blaming and trying to reconcile her accusations with reality, but I just couldn't. I knew I hadn't been an abuser. It drove me into utter despair and depression. I couldn't eat or sleep or do anything. My friends became so worried about me that they ended up having me hospitalized involuntarily for several days, until I got a psych evaluation that said I was fine. 2 days after I got out, I happened to look at my old laptop, and that's when I learned the truth. She had left her Discord signed in on my laptop, and I found her communications with her online boyfriend, who lives in Europe. There were tens of thousands of messages. She had been calling him for hours anytime I was at work, whilst she was at work, and when she claimed to be going to sleep. I would sleep on the couch because she had claimed that if I slept in the bedroom, the dog would wake the baby. In reality, she was using that as an excuse so she could call this guy. He wasn't even the first, either. There was another guy all the way back in June she was having very sexually explicit chats with. I found tons of messages where she took pride in how she is manipulative, dishonest, a good liar. In more recent messages with the current boyfriend, she even told him he would be our daughter's new dad, and she talked about leaving the US ASAP to move to Europe to be with him. She took out a protective order against me at his advice because he told her you don't want to have to be stuck in a custody battle. I don't know if she actually somehow convinced herself, or was convinced by others that our relationship was abusive, or if she is aware it is untrue. It's really hard to know. I thought I knew her so well. I thought she was the best wife any man could ask for. I thought we were a happy family and always would be. After several weeks, there was a court hearing that granted me 50-50 custody until a final custody hearing in a few months from now, so I at least have my daughter back. The schedule gives me the majority of the time our daughter is awake, too, which I am very thankful for. My daughter is my world, and not seeing her for 3 weeks was world-shattering. Unfortunately, the hearing also extended the protective order by several months as a precaution, so I am not even allowed to try and talk to my wife to even attempt reconciliation or anything. I can only talk to her in regards to our daughter. Now, every night, I have nightmares. I am terrified of what will come next. I am traumatized that I didn't see my daughter for 3 weeks. The protective order made me effectively homeless. I miss my dog. I still love my wife and I want her back desperately, even though everyone tells me I deserve better. I don't want better from anyone else, though. I just want my wife. I think she is unwell. I don't think anyone who is well could do this. Why throw away our family and our future over an online boyfriend she hasn't even met? I can't understand it. Any advice is welcome. I've had so much help and advice from so many people, but I still feel so lost. I'm desperate. I want to fix this. I am terrified about how this will impact our daughter. She deserves so much better than this. I am also terrified for my wife's sake. Even though she has hurt me and done this, I still love and care about her. I don't want her to be hurting. I don't want her to struggle or hit hard times. Here are some of the best comments from our community. You can't doormat your way back into this relationship because no matter how hard you try, you'll never be a big enough doormat for her. Your wife carefully crafted out this plan over a long period of time. This wasn't a sudden impulsive decision. Move on with the divorce and try to get a deal that will allow you to best care for your child. Regardless of whatever mental issues she has, your wife is not a good person or a safe partner. Once you come to accept that, the way forward will be clear. Don't even try to reconcile with that lady. Do everything for your daughter op and collect evidence as everything. Ask Sumit, your attorney. Your marriage is over. Download all those messages. Tell your lawyer your grandparents loaned you $6,000 that she used to pay off credit card debt. If the home is yours, ensure it's sold and there's an equitable division. If it's leased, ensure you're off the lease. It's horrible when we find out the person we love isn't who we thought they were. However, now that you know, you need to use this information wisely. Protect yourself and your time with your daughter. Don't give any sympathy to her in the divorce. She simply is a manipulative liar and even brags about it. Do not trust that she will do anything that she says she will do. Get it is writing. Get a good lawyer and take their advice. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell.